ne? It's my camp. Okay, when you're ready. Boys and girls, please come back inside and settle down. Ladies and gentlemen, we kindly request that you settle down. The Deputy Minister and the entourage are here. Siyacela. Let us give them the respect and this ceremony, the respect it deserves. Ne? So our choir is going to give us an item. They're going to sing the national anthem. You know what we do. We stand as we sing the national anthem. If you could kindly stand and be on your feet as we're about to sing the national anthem. Thank you. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're just testing our sound. And we wanted to see if you guys know the national anthem. I can see who's mumbling when we're singing Sesotho and some Afrikaans lapo. So we're going to sing it properly as the Deputy Minister and the entourage are walking up on stage. Let's go again, choir. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the Deputy Minister, the CEOs, board chairs, as they're trying to settle down. We're going to sing properly this time around, eh? No mumbling. A round of applause for the CPUT choir. Thank you so much. Well, you may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, manene, manenekazi, I am particularly calling you as learners. I'm particularly calling you as learners, ladies and gentlemen, because that's exactly how we're going to behave today, right? We're going to be ladies and we're going to be gentlemen. That means if we've got a speaker on the podium, we give them the respect they deserve and we listen, right? When it's time for us to sing, we shall do so. When it is time for us to clap, we shall do so together. Do we agree? All right. Thank you so much to the CPUT choir. Let me first start by introducing myself for those of you who might not know who's standing right in front of you. My name is Speech Nzawumbi. You can call me Mazaleni. I'd like to welcome you to the 3rd Annual Heritage Career Expo. It's a food day today. Proceedings started yesterday up at Cape Town. Ndingumxhosa ke ndizawukhahlela njengomxhosa. Ndizithuthe nje kancinci ndithi ndingujwarha umayarha ukhathithi umteki umazaleni abantu abahle nabasebunje. Hey! Umabunjwe bhidli kanjengodaka. Ndizawutsho ke ndithi inqanga nentsiba zayo. Ndiyanamkela kulo msitho wanamhlanje. We're just going to quickly go through our programs. Sizawuqalisa bethuna asifuni kubhuda. We don't want to rush our program, so we'll make sure that we give time to each speaker. But I'm going to quickly request each speaker, our dignitaries who are sitting here, we're going to be giving us speeches, that we make them as brief as possible. I've been given amandla and the authority by the organizers of this event, and they said, when you stand on that podium, your word is law. So this is the law that I'm going to put, that each speaker be allocated 5 minutes. I understand that some of you probably spent 3 days trying to draft the speech, and you've got 6 pages because you want to take us through where you're coming from, yonke lonto. In the interest of time, so that will allow the students to then have time to go through the exhibition areas and run our program as swiftly as possible. If you are posting on social media, are you guys on Twitter? Facebook? Instagram? Okay. So please make sure that you tweet, you use the hashtag, you tag the department, you make sure that you tell us that it's the Annual Heritage Career Expo, the food day in Cape Town, CPUT, tag the institution. Some of you are going to be here from next year or the year after. I'm going to call upon our first speaker who's going to welcome us officially. So we're going to call upon the Vice Chancellor. I would like you to please give a round of applause to Professor Chris Ntlap, who is the CPUT Vice Chancellor. Give him the warmest round of applause, please. I think you can do better than that.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I can assure you that I'm going to be exactly 5 minutes because my role is to welcome all the guests here today. Thank you, Program Director, Siphiwo Nzawumbi, Honorable Deputy Minister, Buti Manamela, CEO of SETAs here present, the executive management team of CPUT, CPUT staff and students, all the teachers, principals, and learners from all over the peninsula, and all our dear friends. Honorable Deputy Minister, welcome to the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, unpretentiously referred to as CPUT. we always make sure that when we're in gathering like this, that we tell people that we are CPUT. I must admit that the 2022 Heritage Career Expo, aptly themed Unlocking the Wealth in Our Heritage, is very catchy and appropriate. We feel especially honored to have been given the singular privilege of hosting the Food Day version of this series of events. Indeed, Program Director, it is appropriate, given that we boast the very best agri-food technology station, colloquially referred to as ATS, is well nestled in the state-of-the-art complex here in Bellville. These include a pilot plant with 5 different processing areas: the bakery, meat products, extrusion and milling, chocolate, sugar confectionery, spray drying, and heat processing. Deputy Minister, our 10-year plan is built on a concept of a smart university. This one smart CPUT construct is having 2 dimensions. Dimension 1, which is smartness. We are a university of technology, and we revel in a culture of learning by doing. That is in our DNA. Our strategies are focused on technological developments and innovations. We strive to make a better world through education, research, and technological innovation. We are ensuring that our students are not only mastering theory, but they are also ensuring that now they apply the theory. We don't believe in deeds, but we also believe in words as well. Our oneness part or dimension of our strategy is based on the 3 U's: ubunye, ukungafani, and ubuntu. We ascribe to an African philosophy of ukuhamba unxibe izihlangu zomnye umuntu, to walk in someone else's shoes. Deputy Minister, we have made our choice as an institution to be a smart university before the end of this decade. Choices we proceed are the hinges to our destiny. We are under no illusion that is not going to be easy towards 2030. It is going to be a rough road, but will ultimately ascend the heights of greatness. We believe that this entails a change of mindset, a change of the fact that we come from a technical background, and we believe that change is difficult at the end, messy in the middle, but gorgeous at the end. So we believe that we will stay the course. With a smart classroom, or smart classrooms that we are building that are incorporating the state-of-the-art technologies and technical platform, we believe that we'll live to our dream of realizing a smart university. This is the only university that is speaking this language across the continent. We believe in smart pedagogy based on modern teaching and learning strategies. A smart university is a university that uses technological innovation within its organization to accomplish its mission. The learning arena is gradually influenced by technological advances such as e-learning, Internet of Things, etc., which are rapidly and absolutely changing the way educators provide instruction and teach students. Welcome once more to Cape Peninsula University of Technology, and have a splendid time with us. I can assure you that you arrive here as guests, but you leave CPUT as friends. That is our hospitality. With that said, enkosi mawethu sithi magwande kuqhume konke kusezandleni zenu. Thank you very much.
A round of applause once more for the Vice Chancellor, Professor Chris Nhlapo. Remember when I addressed you and when I welcomed you, I said, you are ladies and so we're going to act likewise, right? When we've got a speaker on stage, I'm really going to ask you that we give them the attention they deserve, right? So that we'll listen, we'll get all the germs we need to get today, not the gems, but the germs. I'm now going to move over to our next speaker. I know that she's really going to give us 5 minutes. The VC gave us 5 minutes with other 5 minutes babies. So thank you so much, VC, though. I appreciate that. A round of applause, please, for AgriSETA Board Chairperson, Ms. Sharon Sipeng. She will be giving us the purpose of the day. Like I said, Board Chair, I really have so much faith in you. 5 minutes will be 5 minutes. Thank you.
5 minutes will be 5 minutes. I promise. Program Director, my 5 minutes will strictly be 5 minutes. I wish you could start count now. The Honorable Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the CEO of the SETAs, my colleague Chairperson, and esteemed guests, learners, and other stakeholders, I would like to greet you all. As we stand here today, mine is very short to give you the purpose of today. As a country, we are now looking forward to preparation of the new phase of leaders, new phase of farmers, new phase of technicians. Career expos like this are the ones that are going to expose us to those type of situations to make our country a better country. We cannot import or export a skill, but to ensure that our skills are being built at this age. Then what we're going to say is we're attending a most important day, that is a Career Expo, with the aim of to create platforms and opportunities for business, for learners, communities, state entities, among others. And we are here to expand the networks on learners to know that in our SETAs we have we are here to expand the land forms that in our SETAs we have bursaries that will be available for you as South Africans. We have to showcase opportunities that are available for you. I understand when you make noises that you are getting bored maybe, but it's part of our learners' concentration span. And then we are here also to match the skills of what we have comparatively with what we need in the country. With this said, mostly I would like to convey the message of hope and collaboration to all who are here and to say you are welcome for today, and please make sure that you use the opportunities that are made here available. I guess I kept my 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Board Chair. I'm going to quickly ask our ushers to please assist us just to ensure that our program is orderly. Should we have any other individual perhaps that wants to take us out of order, you will then assist us by just gently escorting them to go and get a breather outside, right? Ngosi, thank you so much. Siyabulele. I'm now going to quickly move over to, I'm going to ask our choir to be on standby. The choir will be on standby. After this speaker, you will then have to come to the podium and give us 2 items. We're now going to SETA CEO Reflection, Unlocking Opportunities in Our Heritage Industries. That's exactly what Ms. Nokuthula Salamulela is going to talk about. A round of applause, please, for Ms. Nokuthula Salamulela.
Good morning, everyone. Our esteemed guest, Deputy Minister, Chairpersons, SETA CEOs, you learners, I say hi. How many of you can cook? Can you? Who can't? Okay, so you're going to learn all about the science of cooking today. The reason we are here, can you still hear me? Can you? Okay. Can you hear me? The sound. Okay, technology is failing me. So today you're going to learn about the science of cooking. I urge you to go to all our stalls and get to learn more about what food is about. It's not just about cooking that you do at home. There's more to it. There's different careers that you can learn from attending all these stalls that we have around campus. I'm hoping that you're going to learn as much as you can, absorb as much as you can, and I encourage you to go around the campus and see different types of food that can be made and different careers that you can have in this food technology. The reason we are saying this is a food day, because we want to show you that it's just not about chopping onions and tomatoes. Food has got more science to it. So we always, and been supporting the Careers Expo for the past, I think, 3 or 4 years now, which is more focused on indigenous food. Do you know what that is? Do you know? You just know that there is food. So that's why I say go around and look at all these different stores and you'll see different types of food. Yesterday we had an opportunity to go to Robben Island with some of your learners. Okay, I don't know how many mics I'm going to change. With some of the learners who had to see what oceans economy is and what careers are out there. When you just get out of here, you will see a stall where you can learn about marine biology. So please take time and learn as much as you can about different types of food and careers that are out there. FoodBev SETA is one of 21 SETAs that is out there facilitating training for learners like you. So it's important as well, outside understanding about food, to go to different SETA exhibitions. We've got career exhibitions out there. You will learn a lot about what SETAs do. So I urge you to go out and learn as much as you can. I don't want to take too much of your time because I know young people's attention span is very, very minimal. But by the time you leave here, I hope you will have learned as much as you can. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the CEO. Let's give her another round of applause. I hope you really take what the speakers are going to say here into account. I'll let you know that, how many years has it been? But many, many years ago, I almost said 15 years, I was sitting in an event of this nature. I was a grade 11 learner, confused about which career path to follow. It is that one career expo that changed my life forever. The speakers who went on the podium to talk about the different faculties or industries, faculties in the universities, and of course industries that one can get into. But this is one thing I need to tell you today, that the world is changing at a very fast pace. And you get to be a beneficiary at a better end. You're living in a time where there's technology, where interaction between countries is much better than our time, perhaps trade. So as you get the full picture of what the value chain of food and heritage, those two being married, and how you can play your part, and how you can even develop a career for yourself and find space within that. As you take all that content today, go back home and start doing the work. Because you can come here as a group. You can chill as a group. You can come as schools. You, as an individual, you are the one who knows what dream it is that wakes you up at night or in the morning for you to get good grades so that you can get entry in university and then pursue that career that you're passionate about. All right? So please listen, and as you listen, take something for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you will stand as an individual. It is you who has to make your mark in the world. So I'm going to ask the choir to give us 2 items, and as they do so, if you feel like dancing, I will request that you do so. But right now, let's give them a round of applause once more. Round of applause. A round of applause, a big one for the CPUT choir. Took me right back at home. I had a bit of a nostalgic moment there. Thank you so much. We're now going to move over to the Deputy Minister, who is our keynote speaker. He will then take to the podium. I think it is important for us to, after hearing from all these speakers, and Abanye Beno, I'm sure you're still going to go, move around and see the different exhibitors who are here, to understand the entire value chain, as I said, of the food industry. So the Deputy Minister, of course, being the highest ranking political officer who's among us today, will come to stage to then officialize the address and to sort of formalize the day and to give us a way ahead. As you know, that with each land, there is governance. And the government of this country is working via the different departments to ensure that you then find expression of the different industries that you want to get into the government of this country, and of course in policy making and so on. But more than anything, the importance of making sure that as a young person you get into the food industry and be part of the value chain. And more than anything, over and above, you don't leave a heritage yakho behind. Ubuntu bakho ezumuntu omnyama. I think it is very important as we are heading towards September, that is the Heritage Month, not to only stop or to only narrow the conversations around heritage around September, but to ensure that as a young person who's growing up today in 2020, who's a teenager, who will be an adult in the future, that you don't lose the essence of who you are. I'm now going to ask the Deputy Minister, Mr. Buti Manamela, to please come forward as he's going to give us the keynote address. And I'll ask you to please give them a round of applause and perhaps a standing ovation. You may stand on your feet and give them a warm round of applause as it comes on stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Program Director. Dumelang, hello. Eta. Who's it? Legrand. Okay, thank you. Vice Chancellor, Professor Ntlapo, together with your team. I think the cameraman must focus here because what you show there tends to be very distracting. Let me also extend the greetings to the chairpersons and CEOs of our sector education and training authorities who have been very supportive of our Heritage Career Expo. Also extend greetings to the schools that are participating in this year's Heritage Expo. Of course, today our focus being on food. The first stall that I went to today, we went to chat to a chef. He has a truck that he has constructed. It's obviously supported by some private companies. It's called the Braai Cafe. And he says to me that his intention is to franchise the Braai Cafe so that it is all over the world, I mean, all over the country and hopefully all over the world, like a lot of brands that we know. And I think we know a whole lot of food brands, American, Chinese, all from all over the world. So he wants to also place this Braai Cafe truck all over the country and hopefully all over the world. And he says that he's making or trying to put a twist on authentic South African food. He is with him 2 assistants who are also undergoing training. And they will ultimately, when they complete that training, become chefs, just like him. Now, I'm starting with this because I thought it was striking that we have this initiative, and this is obviously not the only initiative that we have throughout the country. And I want to urge you to go and taste some of the food that he makes, which he refers to as authentic South African cuisine. So the reason I'm mentioning him is because there's a whole lot of things that get involved for him to ultimately run that truck. So he's trained as a chef, meaning that he went to a higher education institution. He's also training other people as chefs, involved or in partnership with some of our sector education and training authorities. He's involved the private sector in building up the truck with all the machinery that's involved in the truck. He's in the process of creating not only jobs, but also creating other entrepreneurs through his franchising idea so that they also can create jobs. Now, he makes a quota that he made for me. So it's got chicken, it's got chips, it's got bread, a couple of sauces that he whistled into the quota. Now, those are from the agricultural produce. So you know chicken breast doesn't just land up in a shelf. It's got to be reared somewhere, and so does beef. And so people are involved in the work opportunities, but also in business opportunities, in the production process of that quota. So there's also a whole lot of technology that is involved, not only with the truck, but with the cooking machines, the frying pans, and so on and so forth. And what I'm trying to illustrate is that what ultimately lands on your table during lunch or at home at dinner time involves a whole lot of process that, if focused upon, some of you could be at the front end of the production process. Some of you can be at the beginning of that production process. And so it's not only about being a chef or your ability to cook, but it's considering a cycle of careers that you could obviously consider. But not only did we see the Braai Cafe, the Vice Chancellor, when I got here, was insistent that I must go and see their food lab or food center, technology center, where he spoke quite extensively about it. Now, these careers, either being a chef, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a full day focusing on fashion. We're going to have one focusing on poetry, music, and dance. Now, all of these careers are careers where in the past, a lot of parents would discourage their children to pursue. And some of you may actually regard these careers as a side hustle. You may want to go and become engineers, you may want to go and become doctors, teachers, actuarial scientists, and a whole lot of other fancy careers. And you're like, no, I can sing. And I'm certain some of the people who are in the school choir are not necessarily studying music. So you'd say, I can sing, I can dance, I can cook, but some of these are just side hustles. But the purpose of the Heritage Career Expo is to say to you that you can actually pursue these as careers because they are programs that are being taught in our universities, in our TVET colleges, in our community colleges, and in our universities of technology. I asked one of the facilitators or lecturers here at CPUT as to what does it involve, or what does it involve for one to be, to pursue a career in food science and technology. He was showing me all sorts of things. They make beer here. They make bread, wine, cheese, chocolate. There's what I'm told I shouldn't call it meat, but muscle food, which is a whole range of other meat products. And so food is an entire industry, and it is something that people are already doing. For us to reproduce ourselves as humanity, we need food as a source of life. But the reason why we're also pursuing this, again, I want to go back to the chef who runs the Braai Cafe. So he says people go to Mexico, people go to France, people go all over the world to go and try food. And that his vision and his dream is to see people coming to South Africa to come and taste authentic South African food, South African braai, South African koeksisters, masonja, pap. There are very few parts of, countries in the world where they enjoy pap as a staple food, and a whole range of other food that are identified with South Africa. And so not only is it about the economy, about jobs, about entrepreneurships, but it's also about putting our country on the map. And we intend to do this also with fashion, with music, with dance, with poetry, because we believe that these are the things that not only contribute to our nation and nation building, national cohesion, but it also fosters a South African identity. It says who we are. If you think about Cuba, you're thinking rum, you're thinking cigars. If you think about France, you're thinking food, French cuisine. And so, even in our context, we have to identify, or we have to foster that which we identified with within the context of food, and make sure that we excel in it. So when you go back home, when you go back to your schools, when you go and interact with your life orientation teachers, when you go and interact with your parents, just talk to them about what you think struck you the most today, because food is not only, as I said, about being a chef. Engineers are needed in the food industry. Creatives are needed in the food industry. So it's an entire cycle of careers and possibilities and potentials that you could be able to look at. But also look at the Vice Chancellor is excited to have some of you here next year. Have you applied to CPUT to study next year? Are there those who have applied to study at CPUT next year? What's happening? Huh? Or you have it up? Oh, do we have any grade 12s here? In fact, that's the question I should have asked. Oh, that's oh, I see. Okay. So you've seen the campus, and hopefully in 2 to 3 years' time, you'll consider coming to study here, right? It's a beautiful place to be at, ne? No. No. Okay. So when the time really comes, but some of you, if you're at your grade 9 or grade 10, you can actually look at studying at some of our TVET colleges. I saw some of them, Falls Bay, Cape College, they're there at the back, Northlink College, they're here. Go and get some information about the kind of program that they offer and look at the possibility of going to study at that campus. So I really want to wish you all the best and hope that today would have left a mark in you thinking differently about food, about indigenous knowledge systems, about the connection between what we eat and our heritage, and how important it is that all of us become agents of putting South Africa on the map through the things that we do on a daily basis. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. Oh, I think this is yours.
A round of applause once more for the Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Training, Science, and Innovation. I think what you just said, DM, sums it up. I was just looking and thinking to myself, your department being the Department of Education, but not only that. There's training, there's science and innovation, and that's exactly what we need in the food space in order for us to thrive as the country. It is quite unfortunate, and this is what I was saying to the team last night as we were having a conversation about the food space, that as a cook myself and an influencer within the food space, I work with brands who have taken so much inspiration from Omama, from Eklali, you know, Omam Chawe, Omam Dolo, who unfortunately never got the education and the skills required for them to properly benefit within the food chain. And so you have auntie who cook who sell food in the streets, who only use food for them to make ends meet. But on the other side, when it gets to the engineering part, which contributes highly to the economy of this country, you then have people of the other races who are already on the upper hand when it comes to the economy of this country. So we do need that innovation. And I'm happy that as we're moving around, we went to see the plants and see the use of technology when it comes to that. I was happy also when you said that we do need as much engineers as possible within the space. We're now talking about artificial intelligence. I know in our country we're talking about 4IR, but the world has moved at a very fast pace. And it is these learners who will then get to be a part of that innovation that we need within the food space. And also within heritage. I'm a young person in this country and many other young people who advocate that our heritage and the indigenous knowledge that you spoke about should not loosen and be watered down when we talk about the context and the core of our education in this country from basic to higher. So I hope the stakeholders who are here, the CEOs, the board chairs, that in your various entities as stakeholders of this big and massive program, that you go back to these pillars, innovation, the use of technology, and to ensure that black people particularly, and I'm going to be intentional and not be shy about this, black people then get to be a part of that food chain and be part of the decision-making body within the food space. Unfortunately, when you're talking heritage and when you're talking hospitality, you have a lot of people who leave the country and they go thrive in other countries because in our country we have not prepared the ground to be fertile when it comes to training, innovation, and science. So, we're now going to move, and we have come to the end of our program. Amazing. But before we do that, I'm going to call upon the chairperson of the FoodBev SETA, Mr. Alan Campbell. He's going to do the vote of thanks. A round of applause, please. As Mr. Campbell is coming, I want you to prepare yourselves, because as soon as we finish this part of the program, you'll then be given an opportunity to move around campus, be able to go and see the different stalls, the exhibitors, get to see the other side of food that you're not exposed to, and perhaps the different industries. But not now, not now. Hold it. Now I can tell who waits for the bell to ring. Before the bell rings, you already have your books up. Let's wait. A round of applause again for Mr. Allen, please.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Deputy Minister Manamela, respected Vice Chancellor of CPUT, Professor Nhlapo, chairpersons, board members, CEOs, and fellow colleagues from all SETAs that are represented here today. And by extension, of course, those that could not make it to this event. Mr. Program Director, Mr. Mzaumbi, our most valued invited guests who are here, students and faculty of CPUT, the choir that sang beautifully, and of course, all the learners that are present here today. It is my privilege and honor, of course, on behalf of the Heritage Careers Expo of 2022 and the entire supporting team from CPUT, the SETAs, and the Department of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, to extend a very warm and hearty vote of thanks to all of the speakers for gracing this occasion and for generously sharing with us their time and their wisdom today. A big and heartfelt thank you to CPUT for hosting this event, and again to the Vice Chancellor for his warm words of welcome as the host. Can we give the Vice Chancellor and CPUT a hand of applause, please? Thank you. We thank Mayor Sharon Sipeng, the chairperson of the Agri-SETA, for eloquently outlining the purpose of this event. A round of applause for her too, please. I cannot forget, of course, the CEO of FoodBev SETA, my CEO, Nokuthula Slamlela. With a deep sense of appreciation, Nokuthula, we thank you for a succinct analysis of the opportunities in the heritage industries. Deputy Minister Manamela, a very humble human being in my individual, your speech was enlightening. It was also serious but entertaining at the same time. We appreciate the clarity of your words and the advice that you gave. A round of applause for the Deputy Minister, please. I'm sure not everyone knows, Deputy Minister, that we owe you a special vote of thanks for being here, because you made sure that you're here despite your demanding schedule. I know that you'll be rushing to catch a plane immediately after this, so thank you very much. One of the signs of a great society is the diligence with which it passes culture from one generation to another. We have a responsibility as incumbents in society to pass culture to the next generation. This culture is the embodiment of everything the people of that society hold dear. Their food, their music, their societal practices, their beliefs, their religion, their heroes, and so on. So there is a connection between food, heritage, and careers. When one generation no longer esteems its own heritage and fails to pass that torch on to its children, it is saying, in essence, that the very foundational principles that form that society and make it what it is are no longer valid. And that leaves that generation without any sense of definition or direction. What is required when that happens are leaders, of course. When a society loses its way, you need leaders who have not forgotten or discarded legacy and who love that legacy with all of their hearts. And those leaders come or become the voice of that lost generation. It is even more impactful when such leadership is on display and experienced. And to lead by example requires skill, of course. It requires competence, which is what the Heritage Careers Expo is all about. Again, many thanks to everyone present for making it, and enjoy the rest of this wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the chairperson of the FoodBev SETA, Mr. Alan Campbell. So we're now going to move over to the stalls. That's where the exhibition is taking place. We've got marshals next to you. They are wearing safety vests, as you see, the green vests. They are going to take you in groups. You're not going to move all at the same time. Please cooperate with them. You're going to move in each stall. You're going to spend 3 minutes, and then you move to the next exhibitor to make sure that you all get time to go through each and every exhibitor. Wait. I will add 2 more speakers, yes? Do you want me to add 2 more speakers? Aibo, this is for you. Okay. So the marshals are going to take you 3 minutes, and then you come back here. Okay? When you've moved around, you come back here. Thank you so much. Wait. I'm going to particularly ask you guys on this floor to sit down. Let's wait for the Deputy Minister and the entourage to please walk out, and then we can proceed. Please go back to your seats. Just a few minutes. Sit down. Akukho kutya okuzawuphela. Whatever it is that we've prepared, you will get. Okay. So as soon as the Deputy Minister walks out with the CEOs and board chairs and the Vice Chancellor, you will then proceed as directed by the marshals.